Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our English learning podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because we have a topic that many English learners wonder about. Is grammar important for speaking English? Some people think you need it to speak well, and others say it's okay to speak even if your grammar isn't perfect. Before we get started, think about this yourself. Do you worry about making grammar mistakes when speaking? Or do you focus on just getting your ideas across? Today, we'll explore both sides of this question with Judy. Let's see what we discover. Hi, Judy. How are you today?
Hi, Emily. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm excited to talk about this. Many people are unsure if grammar really matters for speaking. So let's talk about it.
Yes, let's dive in. So, Judy, do you think grammar is important to speak English well?
That's a great question, Emily. I think grammar helps, but it's not the most important thing. Knowing basic grammar can make things clearer. But even if you don't have perfect grammar, you can still say what you mean. The main goal is for people to understand you, right?
Exactly. Sometimes thinking too much about grammar makes people feel too nervous to speak. Some people even worry that if they use wrong grammar, they might sound like they don't know English well. Do you think that's true?
I understand why people feel that way, but a few grammar mistakes don't mean you don't know the language. We all learn at different speeds, and everyone makes mistakes. It's unfair to judge someone on a few mistakes.
That's so true. We all make mistakes, and that's how we learn. But for people who want to improve their grammar, is it worth the time?
Yes, I think it is. Good grammar can help you feel more sure of yourself, especially in formal situations like a job interview. But I think it's more important to practice speaking first. It's better to try and make a few mistakes than to not try at all.
Good point. So, Judy, what's more important than a grammar when speaking?
I think confidence and just being able to express yourself. If you think too much about grammar, it can make you lose focus on what you want to say. It's better to just speak naturally, even if it's not perfect.
I totally agree. Sometimes we forget that making mistakes is a way to improve.
Exactly. Every mistake is a chance to learn. You can study grammar outside of conversations. There are so many ways to practice, like books, online courses, and podcasts like this one. You can work on grammar at your own pace.
Right. I like to remind learners that kids make lots of mistakes when they learn their first language. But no one tells them to stop talking. They just keep learning and getting better.
That's such a great example, Emily. Kids learn by speaking and trying new words. We adults can do the same thing. The more we speak, the easier it gets.
So, would you say beginners should focus more on learning new words and expressions instead of grammar?
Yes, I think so. Learning useful words and phrases can help you communicate faster. For example, if you know how to say, "Where is the bus stop?" or "I need help," you can make yourself understood, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
That's a good approach. When beginners know some vocabulary, it builds confidence. And more confidence often means more speaking practice.
Absolutely. Speaking is like any skill. The more you do it, the better you get. And mistakes are just part of learning.
And speaking of practice, Judy, do you have any tips for listeners who feel nervous about speaking?
Yes, My advice is simple. Just start speaking. Talk to friends, practice with a language partner, or even speak to yourself in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. Every time you speak, you're getting better.
That's a great advice. The more you speak, the more natural it feels. It doesn't matter if it's only a few minutes a day. Every bit of practice helps.
Exactly. And remember, you can work on grammar as you go. It's helpful, but it shouldn't stop you from speaking. As long as people understand you, you're doing great.
Thank you, Judy. I hope our listeners feel encouraged to speak more confidently after hearing this. It's all about balance, right? A little bit of grammar, a lot of practice, and the courage to make mistakes.
Yes, balance is key. Focus on sharing your ideas first, and work on grammar as you improve. Enjoy the journey of learning.
Now that we've discussed whether grammar is important for speaking, let's go over some keywords from today's topic.
Great idea, Emily. These words will help you understand more about the topic. We'll explain each word and give examples to make it easier to remember.
Now, let's start with our first word, grammar. Grammar is the set of rules that tells us how to put words together correctly in a sentence. Judy, can you share an example?
Sure. If you understand the grammar, it's easier to form clear sentences. The next word is mistake. A mistake is when you do something wrong, like using the wrong word or grammar in English. Could you give an example, Emily?
Absolutely. Making a mistake helps you learn and improve your English. Now, here is the word confidence. Confidence is when you feel sure of yourself and believe you can do something well. Judy, do you have an example?
Yes. Speaking with confidence helps others understand you better, even if you make small mistakes. Let's talk about practice next. Practice means doing something many times to get better at it. What's your example, Emily?
Practicing English every day makes speaking easier. The word focus is important too. To focus means to pay close attention to something without getting distracted. Judy, can you give us an example?
Of course. When you focus on speaking, you improve faster. Another word is goal. A goal is something you want to achieve or accomplish. Do you have an example, Emily?
Yes. My goal is to speak English confidently. Now we have understand. To understand means to know the meaning of something. Judy, can you share an example?
Certainly. I practice English to understand native speakers better. Let's talk about express. To express means to share your thoughts and ideas with others. What's your example, Emily?
I use simple words to express myself in English.
Let's discuss improve next. To improve means to make something better. Do you have an example, Emily?
Practicing every day will help you improve your English. The word conversation is also important. A conversation is a talk between two or more people. Judy, can you share an example?
Absolutely. I enjoy having English conversations with my friends. Here's another useful word, language. Language is a system of words used to communicate. Do you have an example, Emily?
Yes. English is a language spoken in many countries. Next is the word fluently. Fluently means to speak a language easily and smoothly. Judy, can you give us an example?
Sure. With practice, you will speak English more fluently. The word encourage means to support and give confidence to someone. Could you give an example, Emily?
My teacher encourages me to speak English often. Finally, let's look at journey. A journey is a long process or adventure to reach a goal. Judy, do you have an example?
Learning English is a journey that takes time and effort.
And that's it for today's vocabulary. We hope you found it helpful for your English learning journey.
Yes, remember, practice makes perfect. We'll be back with more words and tips in our next episode.
Stay tuned and keep practicing your English.
Goodbye, everyone.